We are gathered here today to immortalize in song the life and untimely death of a great legend. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your low-calorie popcorn while I tell you the strange and bewildering true tale of a depressed chameleon that the movie does not tell you.
Stay out of my peripheral vision.
You know, there are a lot of movies for kids that are not really for kids. But let's be honest, those are the best movies. And one of them is Rango.
What was that?
No need to panic, but I think you just swallowed Plan B.
What?
And if your brain completely forgot about this lovable chameleon, let me refresh your memory because I completely forgot about him too. And I don't even know why. This movie is really good. Alright, so the movie starts off with Rango, if that is his real name, performing a play for himself with inanimate objects. That sounds a lot like me. But then the car almost crashes, which causes his tank or his cage or whatever it is to fly off into the air and being left behind by the car. But then he meets him, and then he walks off, and then he flies off, and then he runs off, and then he sleeps and dreams, and then he meets this girl, and then he meets this town, and then he portrays this fake identity, but then they find out about his fake identity. Then he leaves sadly and seemingly tries to commit suicide, if you know what I mean. But then he has a realization, so then he goes back, he defeats the villain, and now he becomes the hero of this story. And everybody loves him again. And that's pretty much the end of the story. It's a simple story, but the way that it was executed was very well done, and I applaud the team behind this movie. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the sad life that Rango probably had prior to the movie's events. Okay, so in order to better explain this theory, we have to go all the way back to the very first scene. Alright, so what do we see? I see gravel, water, a dead roach, a plastic tree, a tank not secured, a suitcase, kitchen stuff, other stuff, some parents, a kid, and an open window. Rango here is probably not a happy person, if you couldn't already tell. I mean, he's constantly questioning his identity, even from the very beginning of the movie. And honestly, his owners might be to blame for that. Let me tell you why. So this guy is a chameleon, right? This tank is not the appropriate place for a chameleon to be. It's not even close. He needs a tall cage, perhaps a screen cage, with good ventilation. He also needs live plants in there, not plastic ones, because if you didn't know, chameleons also eat plant life, and if he ate plastic, well, you know. He also needs branches, vines, a heat lamp, a UVB bulb, thermometer, timers, and a mister and a fogger would also be ideal. But then I got to thinking, maybe this is a temporary situation. This isn't forever. I mean, it looks like they're going on a trip, a vacation. Maybe they're moving. I don't know. I don't know if the trip is long. I don't know if the trip is short. Let's not jump to conclusions here. But even if this was temporary, it's not a stress-free situation for a chameleon at all. It looks like it has an open top. There's a whole bunch of stuff around it that can easily fall into the cage and crush your chameleon, or crush the cage, or I don't know. Maybe don't put the tank right next to an open window. Yeah. You know what I think happened? I think this kid, as any other kid, was obsessed with reptiles and decided he wanted a chameleon, and his parents let him get a chameleon. Except the parents didn't really care about this chameleon or his well-being. And this is not me jumping to conclusions. Okay, maybe a little bit, but not really. Look, seeing as they drove off after running over an animal without even looking back. Seeing as they drove off after knocking his tank out of the car without even looking back. I'm pretty sure they're not really fond of animals. This box he draws around his face early on in the movie is him being trapped in a world he doesn't want to be in. He wants to escape. And the man with no name drawing a box around his face once again signifies him being trapped by his own past. He is traumatized, and that's really where everything stems from in this movie. You should definitely rewatch the movie after you've seen this video and tell me what you think. Bet you it won't be so happy now. I didn't mean to end it on such a low note, so I ended it in a high note.
Every morning you wake me, it's way too early, but I don't care, you're not faking, your hair so curly, kiss in my face, you're amazing, you swear too often, give me that look, now I'm dead, put me in a coffin. Yeah, you keep me up at night,